Welcome to this Wednesday edition of Tullahoma 6 News in HD. I'm Jamie Treadwell, and there are updates in the story of a young boy that was killed in an accident this weekend.
And I'm Chris Barr. The Tullahoma school system is in the midst of turmoil surrounding two teachers recently terminated from employment. First on 6, the 7-year-old boy that was killed in a motorcycle accident on Saturday evening in Hillsboro has been identified as Diesel Reek. Authorities report that the dirt bike Reek was riding on with his father collided with a single strand of barbed wire that was strung between two trees on the private property they were on. It is believed the father was unfamiliar with the area and did not see the wire. Investigators do not believe the wire was placed there to intentionally hurt anyone. The father, who was also injured in the accident, attempted CPR while waiting for Coffee County EMS to respond. Diesel was transported to Unity Medical Center, where he died due to his injuries.
After years of hard work and perseverance from the Tullahoma Animal Control staff and the residents of Tullahoma, the new Tullahoma Animal Shelter is finally celebrating the opening of its doors on Monday at 4:45. The new shelter is located at 942 Maplewood Avenue behind the Public Works office and just across from the old shelter. The new shelter is a 2,700 square foot facility with 36 kennels and 36 exterior dog runs. The shelter will also have a new feature in the waiting area. A TV monitor will continually run photos and stats of the dogs and cats that are available for adoption at the shelter.
There is good news for motorists. Average gas prices in the state of Tennessee are 7 cents less than they were a week ago and 20 cents less than last month. That brings the average to $2.35 per gallon. The national average is $2.68, which is 6 cents cheaper than last week. Strong domestic output and solid imports have helped push prices lower. The lowest gasoline price for fuel in Tullahoma can be found at Murphy's Express on North Jackson Street for $2.32 a gallon. The lowest price in Coffee County, though, can be found at Green's Best Way on the Woodbury Highway for $2.18 a gallon.
And I just filled up, darn it. The outcome of two tenured Tullahoma City school teachers was a hot topic at Monday night's regular school board meeting. The building was filled to fire code capacity with another 30 people waiting outside the school building to hear the results. Here are some highlights from that event.
Members of the board, Mr. Carver has placed charges against Amy Dotson, a tenured teacher employed by this board. The only decision that this board is charged with making at this time is that if these charges are true, Amy Dotson's dismissal as a tenured teacher from the school system is warranted. Would any member like to make a motion that if these charges are true, that dismissal is proper and that Amy Dotson be notified of her opportunity for a hearing before a hearing officer whom this board will appoint?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Robinson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Usselton. Any discussion? If not, I'll call the question. It is moved and seconded that if these charges are true, that dismissal is proper, that Amy Dotson be notified of her opportunity for a hearing before a hearing officer. The board will vote by show of hands. Those in favor of adoption of the motion, please raise your hand. Motion passes. Mr. Carver, would you please notify Amy Dotson that this board has voted that if these charges are true, then dismissal is warranted. Please also notify Ms. Dotson of her right to a hearing and that the request for a hearing must be received by your office within 30 days of receipt of the notice. This notice should be provided to Amy Dotson by certified mail, return requested, as well as by first-class U.S. mail. 5-3. For the personnel matter concerning Sarah Harwell, the chair recognizes John Carver, Director of Schools.
I'm presently distributing you copies of the charges for dismissal, which I'll give you a few moments to review in reference to Sarah Harwell.
Members of the board, Mr. Carver has placed charges against Sarah Harwell, a tenured teacher employed by this board. The only decision that this board is charged with making at this time is that if these charges are true, Sarah Harwell's dismissal as a tenured teacher from the school system is warranted. Would any member like to make a motion that if these charges are true, that dismissal is proper and that Sarah Harwell will be notified of her opportunity for a hearing before a hearing officer from this board will appoint?
So
Motion by Ms. Johnson. Do we have a second?
second.
Second by Ms. Robinson. Any further discussion? If not, I'll call the question. It is moved and seconded that if these charges are true, that dismissal is proper and that Sarah Harwell be notified of her opportunity for a hearing before a hearing officer. Board vote by show of hands. Those in favor of the adoption of the motion, please raise your hand. Motion passes.
Tullahoma Utility Authority recently installed a high-efficiency automatic influent screening system to enhance the efficiency of their wastewater treatment facility. Proper screening is one of the most important steps and is the first unit of operation in a wastewater treatment plant. Brian Gordon, a wastewater treatment maintenance technician, stopped by to fill us in on the improvements of the new system. Here's Brian with more.
Yes, it's the entry level. The more you remove there, the better off the plant is and the more efficient the plant runs. Anything that you can think of that gets flushed down the commode, this will screen it out to about a 6mm diameter. One of the problems we had in previous was we would get swizzle sticks and Q-tips that get flushed, and they'd end up clogging up our system because we'd get thousands and thousands of them. So we had to find something that would clean those out without letting the other stuff come through. So we actually, what we decided to do was go with a 6mm perforated panel, which is, roughly 200 thousandths diameter, couldn't go through it. So a swizzle stick is about 240 thousandths in diameter on the average of them, because I had to measure them to make sure that we was getting something that would remove all those. So what it does is it actually has to make it change direction. So if it's flowing in with the flow of the water, a straight line, it would have to turn 90 degrees, and then before what we had was a half-inch bar screen. So anything that was a half-inch or smaller could get through, which clogged up our grit system, where we couldn't pull out the rocks and the small pebbles and corn and stuff like that, which we really need to get out of the system because that clogs up pumps and stuff like that as it transfers through the system. By going to this system, the 6mm perforated panel, we now have and slowed our flow down to about 3.7 feet per second as far as the way it flows through our system. We can actually remove about 98% of the grit that used to get through the system. Now we capture it and put it in the dumpster. We pump it up so everything's gravity fed from that point on, and we bring it through our Ichthys basin, which is where we allow bacteria to eat all the, the juice out of the wastewater. The ammonia, the organic, it's oxygen in there, aerate it, and then the bacteria comes up and consumes all the ammonia, then a lot of the nitrates and nitrites and phosphorus. So we try to remove some of that too. It allows it to eat it organically, and then we take and we waste that, and then we remove that solid out of it. So then we skim the top layer of water off and allow it to go to the contact chamber, which we put a chemical in to kill off any BOD, which is the stuff that bugs eat. It allowed it to compact it and squish all the extra juice out, and actually that's what our bugs eat, and put it back into the system. It's about 4 to 5% more BOD that allows the plant to eat. We take ultrasonic sound wave, ultrasonic readers, and check where the water level is, and then we make this, when it gets up to a certain level, which is called bind rate. In other words, what comes in builds up on the screen, and then it binds, keeps the flow going through. So once it gets up to a certain level, then we automatically trigger it to index, and then we screen it all comes out. We pressure wash it as it's coming over automatically, wash that into a compactor, and then we compact it and put that into our dumpster.
Coming up next on Tullahoma 6 News and HD, we'll hear about a creative networking event being hosted here in Tullahoma.
And Susan discusses a historical fiction about dark events in the Mennonite community of Molechna and how it impacted the women of the colony.
Miller Lite and Michelob Ultra invite you to celebrate America's independence at Tullahoma's Fraser McEwen Park, Wednesday, July 3rd. Gates open at 3 p.m. and world-class fireworks start at 9. This is a free event that has something for everyone. Live music from 6-wire and vinyl radio, a kids zone, petting zoo, food, fun, games, and more. The City of Tullahoma, Miller Lite, and Michelob Ultra invite everyone to Fraser McEwen Park, July 3rd for the Tullahoma Independence Day Regional Celebration. And don't miss the downtown after-party at London's.
You wanna dance?
Check out Stingray Music on TV.
Now available, the new Stingray Music mobile app, free with your TV subscription. Stingray Music, all good vibes.
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Cool off at Southern Middle Tennessee's newest water park, Tullahoma's Splash Island. Fun for all ages. 3 25-foot water slides, lazy river, fun water features for toddlers, tasty food items available. All this and more, only $5 from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. or 4 to 9 p.m. Sundays, 1 to 6. Join the fun at Tullahoma's Splash Island.
Welcome back to Tullahoma 6 News in HD. In this week's Book Talk, we visit with Susan Stovall, Director of Lanham Library, to see what she's reading and recommending right now for a good book. This week it's Women Talking by Miriam Toews. Here is Susan to tell us more.
This is a book called Women Talking by Miriam Toews. And one of the interesting thing about this is set in a Mennonite community. And Miriam Toews is a Mennonite. I don't think she's actively a Mennonite, but she grew up in a Mennonite community. And one of the interesting things about this, you can argue this is another dystopic novel, feminist dystopic novel, but this was actually based on a true incident. If you Google ghost rapes, you will find the incident that this happened in. This was a Mennonite community, and these women kept waking up, and they would be like bleeding and hurting, and, you know, had clearly had sex. You know, they'd been raped, and people wouldn't believe them. They would say that they were either using it to cover up their sin, or that they dreamt it, or, I mean, the same old stories you hear. It was like that it was the devil or something, and it was a punishment for their sins, but it was always about blaming them. Turns out that like 8 men in this community had a little gang, and they basically drugged people with some sort of thing that you use on cows, for God's sakes. And they drugged the whole family, and then they raped the women. And it was females from the age of 3 to a woman in her 60s. Like I said, I do think that Miriam Toews, you know, growing up in that community gives her a very different view than, say, if I had attempted to write this book. I was reading an interview with her, and she was talking about how she fought writing this book for a couple of years, and then just finally had to do it because she wanted people to hear those voices and know that this had happened and see the powerlessness of that community. And one of the things that I thought's interesting about it is I can just tell you from what people read here, we have this kind of crush on the Amish and the Mennonites, and we glamorize them. And like all people, there are good people, there are bad people, there are healthy communities, there are not so healthy communities. But she was talking about any time you have an extremist community that is extremely isolated, you really got a recipe for, you know, for mischief, shall we say. And so she talks about, you see a lot of the community, you see what it's like to be an outcast in that community, and you see these women find their voice and their power. And like I said, I just strongly recommend this book. It's short, it's easy to read, you can read it on so many different levels, and this has been reviewed by NPR and The Guardian, so it's also considered a major literary novel, you know, and it'll just give you something to talk about, to think about, share with your friends, and think about our own society.
The Tullahoma Arts Center will be hosting a creative networking event tomorrow evening, and this event is part of a drive for membership, but also a way to increase creative synergy in the Tullahoma area. The center will be hosting these types of events quarterly, and here's Arts Center Board President Beth Thames to tell us more about it.
So the mixer is what we have coming up June 20th. It's from 5:30 to 7. We're treating it kind of like a happy hour mixer where people can get off work and come and spend some time with people from the community and just kind of meet each other and learn about the Art Center. And exactly, one of the big things is we are encouraging our current members to invite a friend that's a non-member. This time of year is the end of our fiscal year, and we always have a big membership drive. So as part of that, it's a good time to kick off this mixer that we're gonna do. The plan is to do it seasonally. So this will be our summer one. We'll have another one in the fall and so on. And the biggest thing is just, you know, bringing people into this beautiful building that was built in the late 1800s and just letting people see, hey, this is what we have and this is what we're doing. Visibility is really important, and it's something that we've been lacking here at the Art Center for years. So it helps to just bring people in. It's Thursday, June 20th, 5:30 to 7. So it's only an hour and a half long. It's just gonna be a quick little thing where everybody comes in, has a few drinks, has a few snacks, mingles, talks about things. It'll also be good networking, other businesses, other members of the chamber, everybody can come. This is what we want. We're really trying to build a good sense of community here. Okay, so the arts are everywhere. If you look around, you will see things that are art, no matter where you go. And for a community, art brings people together. It not only brings people together, but it also helps to harbor the innate appreciation of where things come from and how they're made. And it also brings children to this level of understanding and involvement in community, in the arts, in the creation of things. And no matter what your skill level or what your interest is in art, everybody can find a home in it. And it's something that everybody loves and everybody can enjoy in some way. So really, more than anything, to me though, the arts are what builds the future. It helps people to see where they are and how they can go into the future, because art always speaks for the times. And people can always see themselves in whatever piece of art it is that they have an affinity for. Yeah, so we have a website. It's www.tullahomaart.org. That always has all of our events, all of our classes, any other information. There's a place to sign up as a member. So there's that, the website, tullahomaart.org. And then we also have a Facebook page. You can follow us. It's Tullahoma Art Center.
This week at the City of Tullahoma Animal Shelter, there is a 3-year-old lab hound mix named Jasper for adoption. He is calm but does enjoy relaxing walks. He likes to lay by your feet and get petted abundantly. Jasper is neutered. He, like all dogs at the shelter, are looking for a forever home. The Tullahoma Animal Shelter would like to remind you that they always have a great variety of dogs to choose from for adoption. The shelter, located at 942 Maplewood Avenue, has an ongoing need for donations of dog-related items and monetary donations to provide medical care.
He looks like a sweet dog. The new light tube yard signs are in, and winning $100 just got a little easier. Simply call the news hotline at 571-7186 and give us your name and address, and a sign will be delivered to you. Each week our roving sign hunter goes out looking for new addresses and proudly displaying the light tube yard sign. And if yours is spotted, you could be our next yard sign winner of the month.
And in case you missed the informational meeting, don't worry. Anyone interested in participating in the Tullahoma Adult Baseball League will have until June 29th to sign up and be placed on a team. Players must be 18 to play. The season officially begins on July 8th, and there will be 10 to 12 games as well as an end of the season tournament. Games will be played at 6 and 8 p.m. on Mondays and Thursdays. Players will need to provide their own cleats and bats. Average cost is $65 per player. For more information, call 455-1121 and ask for Colton, or you can send an email to cgunn@tullahomatn.gov.
Tullahoma Independence Day Regional Celebration is just a month away, but with enough space for 70 vendors, there will still be plenty of 10 by 10 spaces available. Prices vary from $45 to $185, and electricity is available as well. You can also be a sponsor for this exciting event that draws a crowd from all over Middle Tennessee and not just the Tullahoma area. And for more details on how to be a part of this wonderful event, check out the Facebook page, Tullahoma Fireworks, or send an email to wbrooks@tullahomatn.gov. To become a sponsor, you can call 247-1574.
And every Wednesday until October, you can enjoy fresh vegetables, beef, eggs, baked goods at the food fair. Vendors will be set up in the parking lot of Trinity Lutheran Church at 705 Wilson Avenue from 6 to 11 a.m. Offerings will change from week to week, so be sure not to miss out. For more details, you can contact the church at 455-9475.
And if you're looking for some fun and exciting activities for the kiddos to do this summer, Hands-On Science Center has just the ticket. Beginning June and running through the month of July, Hands-On Science Center will be offering science camps on everything from computer science to zoology. Before and after care is available for all the working parents, and lunch will be provided. A full week of camp is just $125 with deep discounts for members and additional siblings. And to find out more about the camps or to sign up, just visit the HOSC at hosc.org.
On Friday, June 21st and Saturday the 22nd from 7 to 2 p.m., Lincoln Heights Baptist Church will be hosting a huge indoor yard and bake sale at the church. There will be furniture, household items, clothing, a little bit of everything, and best of all, homemade baked goods. There will also be some nice air conditioning if you are looking to get out of the heat. You can stop by and look around and take home some treasures and some sweet treats. All funds raised go toward the Outreach Ministry Program. For more information, you can call the church at 455-9475.
Yes, after you leave Splash Island and you're all hot, go over there and get cooled off and take home some treasures.
Oh, for sure.
Coming up next on Tullahoma 6 News in HD, we'll have your work week weather forecast for you.
And not only the weather, but we'll also have a look at local sports right after this.
Miller Lite and Michelob Ultra invite you to celebrate America's independence at Tullahoma's Fraser McEwen Park, Wednesday, July 3rd. Gates open at 3 p.m. and world-class fireworks start at 9. This is a free event that has something for everyone. Live music from Six Wire and vinyl radio, a kids zone, petting zoo, food, fun, games, and more. The City of Tullahoma, Miller Lite, and Michelob Ultra invite everyone to Fraser McEwen Park, July 3rd for the Tullahoma Independence Day Regional Celebration. And don't miss the downtown after party at London's.
This is your internet service at 10 meg speeds. This is internet service at gigabit. No other local provider can match this level of speed. Call us today to get the world's fastest internet.
Cool off at Southern Middle Tennessee's newest water park, Tullahoma's Splash Island. Fun for all ages. 3 25-foot water slides, lazy river, fun water features for toddlers, tasty food items available. All this and more, only $5 from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. or 4 to 9 p.m. Sundays, 1 to 6. Join the fun at Tullahoma's Splash Island.
Does your family love to stream movies and use multiple Wi-Fi enabled devices? But are you finding out that your run-of-the-mill router simply can't keep up? Don't worry, LightTube has you covered with our internet router service for only $9.95 per month. Get back to what your family loves doing. Call us today at 455-4515 to learn more.
Welcome back. Well, what's today's National Day, Chris?
Well, Jamie, he's witty, he's sassy, he's blunt, he's saucy, he's, well, Garfield. And on June the 19th, National Garfield the Cat Day celebrates the world's most opinionated feline with insights ranging from global politics to his infatuation with lasagna. Jim Davis's lovable tabby cat has endeared himself to audiences of all ages around the world. So enjoy a few candid one-liners and some heartfelt laughs on this warm summer day and leave admitting that deep down we all know what our pets really think about us. And now, on to the weather.
Yeah, I don't want to know what my pet really thinks.
Exactly.
Beautiful day outside, but don't be fooled. What's the percentage of rain today? None. How about that? Well, enjoy it while you can, because tomorrow it's going to get wet. High of 86, low of 70 today. Let's look at the week. On Thursday, we've got a 60% chance of thunderstorms, 85 for the high that day, and it's going to decrease to a 30% chance all the way up until Sunday, where it's down to like a 20% chance. You might not even get wet at all, Chris. Comes back a little bit higher up to a 30% chance on Monday, but that's it. We're hanging in the 80s and 90s, and that's your weekend weather. What's going on in sports, Chris?
Well, in local sports, former University of Tennessee volunteer football quarterback Josh Dobbs will be speaking at Tullahoma High School's auditorium on July the 20th during a Night of Champions event hosted by Grace Baptist and Life Change Churches here in Tullahoma. In 37 career starts for the Vols, Dobbs hit 614 of his 999 targets for a completion rate of 61%. Allowing him to throw for over 7,000 yards and 53 touchdowns. And not only was his passing spot on, but he was able to rush for over 2,000 yards and net 32 touchdowns. Dobbs was a true student athlete, scoring a spot on the SEC Academic Honor Roll with a 4.0 GPA. Tickets are $15 and may be purchased at Life Change Church of Tullahoma, Grace Baptist Church, or Sports Plus.
It should be a good event to go to. Hopefully we'll get to run some of that here on Channel 6. Travis Hinton now holds the Tennessee record for the most jumps out of a plane in 24 hours. Travis broke the record last Thursday right here in Tullahoma, and in addition to breaking the record, Travis also raised some money for a good cause. He partnered with Michael and Lindsay McLean, founders of the nonprofit organization Life, an organization dedicated to cancer survivorship. Here's a glimpse at that.
We're breaking the Tennessee state record for most skydives in 24 hours in support of cancer patients and fighting cancer. We started exactly at 6:49 this morning. As long as the wind is cooperative, we should keep going the entire 24 hours. There's some weather coming in around 9 o'clock, so I'm hoping that we can dodge that. We're at 49 right now, so the next jump will be 50, and then after that, shouldn't be too long and we'll break the record. The Tennessee state record as of right now is from Timothy Carlisle. It's 51, so we're pretty close. Started jumping in the military in 2009. I started skydiving 2014. Oh no, so a bunch of people let me borrow their rigs, all their equipment. As soon as they figured out what I was doing, they pitched in. They were like, hey, you can use my rig. Hey, I'll pack for you for free. Have people from 3 different states come in to pack and help out. We stop if we have to for wind, for safety. Other than that, pretty much nothing.
You're just eating granola bars and drinking water on the way down?
Liquid diet. Picked that up from Jay Stokes, the world record holder right now, but pretty much just maintaining hydration.
Yeah, so Travis Hinton is a good friend of mine. I met him when I first started skydiving, and I wanted to give him the moral support that he needed to get this record. We came from Savannah, Georgia, which is about seven and a half hours away from here. We got here at around midnight last night. I've been packing since around 6 a.m. this morning.
So yeah, this is Leukemia Ironman fundraiser for Eric. We're a 501c3 organization. We were originally founded in 2003. Our younger brother was diagnosed with leukemia, and he battled it for a long time. Unfortunately, he succumbed to his disease in 2012. At that time, we were already a 501c3, and our mission all along has basically been to pay forward all the kindness and favors that other people have paid us over the years. You know, complete strangers bringing us meals, trying to help out with his medical care, anything. All the nurses, doctors at the hospital he was treated at. So we are essentially raising money for other cancer patients across the country that are between the ages of 18 and 30 that are identified by social workers as needing financial assistance. And it doesn't always have to be money. Sometimes we help them check an item off their bucket list, which our younger brother also did. And today we're raising money for a young woman named Sienna Howe. She's being treated in Nashville for nasopharyngeal carcinoma. And she was here earlier today. She got to see Travis jump, meet us, and it just feels really, really good to see, you know, our brother live on kind of through this organization. So
our brother passed away in 2012 from leukemia. So he's what inspired our organization. I met Travis when I went skydiving one year, and he said that he was going to try to break this record. He wanted to do it for a good cause, so we partnered up.
That wraps up local sports, and our newscast. We'll see you on Friday right here.
See you on Friday.
Have a good evening.